about glorifying God. I like the way this thing blends very well. Because if you have this in place, that God is glorified, you don't need to do church. It's not about doing religion. It's not about doing fancy things. No, just make sure God is glorified. You know, when we do all kinds of religious expressions, we're not even careful. We don't even know where God is in the context of the whole thing we're doing. Singing, dancing, celebrating, playing music. We don't even think of God. We think about how we even like the things we are doing, how it helps us. You know, the service was powerful. What happened? The music was powerful. It was great. What happened? Where was God in the midst of the thing that we did? So, the purpose of life is that in everything I do, God is glorified. Okay? The next question is, what is it that glorifies God? What is it? What did God tell us? Not what are we assuming that glorifies God. What is God telling us that glorifies Him? Which is our vision, right? What's that vision? Dominion. Let us make man in our image. Let them have dominion. When they have dominion, we or God is glorified. Very important. If you are the last, you're not glorifying God. If you are the least, you're not glorifying God. The Bible says that God will make us the head only, that we will not be beneath. That's the arrangement. Okay? He said that all nations will come to you. The nations will come to your light, right? And their kings will come to the brightness of your rising. That's who you're supposed to be. That's what glorifies me. What glorifies me is not just be small and, be quiet and say you are humble or you are, being religious. No. True religiosity, true Christianity, true expression of God's personality should result in dominion. Because if all you express as Christianity does not bring about what God has in mind, then it's a waste of time. All right. What do you do to bring this vision about? What's the mission? The mission is wealth creation. Create abundance. When you see abundance, you are stunned. Right? Anywhere you see abundance, it just stuns you. You see money in abundance, you faint. You see building that has power, magnificent building, you faint. Have you seen very tall buildings? If you go to Lagos, maybe, of a place, or those who travel abroad, you see very tall buildings, you just be looking at them. Okay? Because this is gigantic. You see a big mountain, you just observe it. You see a big waterfall, you just observe it. Anytime you see abundance, you see glory, you see dominance. Right? So, if you want to have dominion, you have abundance. If you want God to be glorified, create wealth, have money. As a mission, as an assignment. In fact, if you want to win souls, have money. Soul winning will be easy. True or true? True. All right. The next thing is what? Strategy. How do we do this? How do you do it? Walk. Walk is a strategy of life. Work is what life is about. Life is about work. Life is not about play. We play to rest so we can go back to work. We sleep to rest so we can go back to work. We eat for energy to go back to work. We go to school to have knowledge to go to work. Everything meaningful in life is about work. Work is not something to endure. Work is what life is about. Make sense? That's what life is about. Completely. If you are not working, you are not serving God. You are not living. And this is so vital. You know, there are some areas, if you have time, we'll touch on. But just know that all of life is about work. God sent us here to work. So that's the strategy. Then the value. We mentioned it a little bit yesterday, but I want to explain it today before we go on. What's the value? Value means, what's the empowerment? What is the attribute? What's the element that makes all of this possible? What's the equipment? Yes. What's the equipment that we have that will enable us to do this, execute this strategy, have this mission, have this vision, and have this purpose? And the element we have is the image of God into which we are created. Right? The image of God. Be like God. The first thing be like God means is to be a worker. The first thing be like God means is to be a worker. God created us in his image, and in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1, we saw God as what? He's a creator. He's a worker. So if you want to be like God, where to begin is to be a worker, to be a creative worker. That's where to begin. Every other thing can follow from there. But you're supposed to be a worker. So this is a value. Your life, you are created a worker. You are created a worker. You are created an inventor, a creator, a mover, a worker. That's who you are. Why? Because the strategy of your life is working. To what reason? So that this work is not a mindless work. This work is work that should produce wealth. This wealth is so that you can be in dominion. This dominion is so that you can glorify God. Life is simple. So that is what we have discussed this weekend, and I believe that you have seen it. Now let's break down a little more of the issues we have to look at today. So we are here now. We're talking about work and being a worker, right? You just work. Work. That's how to make a difference in life. Now, when we talk about working, there's a language that came up sometime, and it is a fancy thought. And that is finding your passion, right? I want to find my passion. You know, what is my passion? My passion is to find what I love, to find what I like. I want to do what I like. Now, what I want you to know, particularly for those of us who are young, is forget it. Basically, forget the idea of finding what you like. Because, I mean, it doesn't mean that there's not something you like. There's something you like. But if you tread by the idea of what I like, you are likely going to destroy yourself and waste unnecessary time. Why do I say that? You see, God doesn't have too much respect. Now, what you like can give you a guideline, can guide you. Your likeness can guide you. But if you invest too much in what you like, you are going to disorganize your life. I saw that from creation, God has not so much regard for what you like as such. So two things. Number one, if God were to ask you to go to the parents you liked, Do you think that your parents now will be your parents? If God said in heaven, God brought you out and said, okay, look into the world. Choose a father. Choose a mother. Without exception, no one here would have gone to their parents. Right? Even these small ones, they know, I wouldn't have walked. So the question is, why didn't God ask you to do that? Why didn't God ask you to choose who you liked to be your parents? Because it doesn't matter. Make sense? If God were to ask you to choose which country you want to come into and be a citizen, you have laughed. Nobody will be here. Why did God not respect that? And now, all of a sudden, we're now driven too much by what I want to now do with my life is what I like. It also affects us in our marriage. You know, people want to marry who they love. So they want to check first if they love the person. But you are commanded to love people before you even see them. Right? So it's not like, let me see the person first and see if we... No. Love them. Love everybody. It's a command. So, life is not about finding what you love. Passion. You know, have you watched the film called The Passion of the Christ? Right? The Passion of the Christ. What is it about? The Passion of the Christ, about the death of Christ. And I'm not sure he liked to die. He didn't like to die. He did basically what he didn't like. If there is likeness, listen to this. If there is likeness or love in what you do, it has to be this, listen to it. Doing what you have to do for the person you love. Doing what needs to be done for the person you love. It's not, I don't want to wash plates. It is that because I love you, I wash plates. So your passion is not about doing what you love. Passion is about doing what has to be done. Sometimes what you love to do does not need to be done. Is it correct? Sometimes what you love to do does not need to be done. You come into the house and the house is not swept, it's not kept clean. And you don't like sweeping. You know, I don't like sweeping. It's not my talent, it's not my call. Okay? What do you like? You like, what do you like to do? You like watching movies. You like playing games. You like doing all sorts of things. And they don't need to be done. In life, if our parents were to allow for what we liked, we would not have gone to school, right? Because I'm not sure any child likes going to school. I think they like playing and being, I don't know. Some of us refused to go. We protested. We cried. They had to beat us to go. Because even though we don't like it, that's important. But suddenly we grow up and we now start looking for what we like. Right? So you put course in school that you like. And JAMB does not respect that, by the way. Just looks, you know. Sometimes what you like you can't afford, right? How many of you like cars you can't afford right now? See them, they say, you know, and then some people too who are stupid, they go and put all their money together and buy things that they can't afford because they like it. It's not, live like. Like is good, but put it in your back pocket and do what has to be done. The work you do, so because it's important. What work should I do? What work should I do? The work I should do. Listen carefully to me now. The work I should do is the work that's available. The work I should do is the work that's available. The work I should do is the work that is necessary. The work I should do is the work that will make the greatest impact. I should subject my likeness to doing that work that needs to be done. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 10, whatever your hand finds to do, right? It is anything. It is anything. Because as young people too now, we want to choose courses. Now this is very important. You need to be very careful about this. You need to just create a balance. We want to just choose, sometimes we want to choose courses that nobody's doing. See, some people say, I can't go to school in Nigeria because they're not doing the course I want to do. I said, do the one they are doing first and put in your pocket. Because that one you don't want to do, that one they are going to do in America, is to go there first as a wahala. So you do what you find. The Bible says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Do it with all your might. Students say things like, I'm not good at maths. That's the dumbest thing to say. Nobody's asking you whether you're good at maths or not. They're asking you, is maths important? Okay? You have to credit maths, credit English. Not good or bad. Nobody wants to know. It is that this is critical to your life, to the way your mind should function. You need to have maths. And when something is important, you do it. You learn it. You devote yourself to it. You don't say, no, this is not. Nobody, like people who go to take injections, right? Who likes it? Drugs. Are drugs food? No, you take drugs to cure something. When that is gone, you continue with your normal life. Do what work needs to be done. Stop looking for what you like, what you love. Do whatever work should be done. Anyone? So next question. If Daniel wanted to do robotic engineering in Babylon, what will happen? Can he do it? No, that's what he wanted. I want to do aeronautic engineering in Babylon. Or Joseph wants to do neurosurgery in Egypt. Can be done. Like, it's not available. It will be later, but not now. What should I do now? Do what is available. And move your life forward. Do what will have the greatest impact where you are now. Does that make sense? So you don't waste all time hanging around and looking for what you love. Do what work needs to be done. Do the work that will make a difference. Any work you get to do, there will be a part of that work that you will not like. Any work you get, a part of that work, you won't like it. And that's why we are just flashy people. We don't know how to work from the back end. We like just operating on the front end, where people will see it and admire us. That's why when people are making clothes, they want to make sure that the front is just fine. Right? But if you meet real tailors, if you meet real committed, what should I call them? It's still on Abby. If you turn their clothes inside, you will like it. In fact, that's how you know when somebody is a professional tailor. That if you turn the clothes, in fact, there are clothes you wear their inside. That's when you know how people are committed to what they are doing. But for us, it's just if you just do this, and if I open this one inside now, I don't know what you're going to find. So that when they did the when Steve Jobs, when they did the Mac computer, they did the inside, and all of those who participated in the project, they had to sign their names inside it. Even though no one will open inside to see, they had to sign their names inside. Because they want this thing to be beautiful inside. But we just want to avoid anything that's not flashy on the outside. So we do poor jobs inside. And if you do poor jobs inside, the work outside will not last. Isn't that what you do around here? We make roads. We do all kinds of things, flashy. And they're not sustainable. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it. You like it, do it. You don't like it, do it. Because you know that this is the work that will sustain life. If you want to do what you like, nobody will clean toilet. Who likes it? No one likes it. But should it be done? Should be done. So somebody has to do it. It's not my talent. Go and learn it. If it has to be done, you do it. That's the attitude we should have towards work. Whatever needs to be done, I do it. I do it. The other thing about work is this. Any work you do, if you do it excellently, it will promote you out of it. Any work you do, if you do it excellently, they will promote you to another level. There are 3 levels of workers. Because work is important. There are 3 levels of workers. The lowest level of workers are operators. The operators are the people who seem to be doing the work, who are the ones directly involved in doing the work. They are the operators. If you go to any company, those who are doing the work, as you can see them, they are the operators. They are the least people in that company. You know, those we call bankers are those who count money when you go to the bank. Abi? I want to work in the bank. You go there and see where they're wearing suit and counting money. You know, those ones are the operators. In fact, they are not the real bankers. They are at the lowest level of that project. And so when we think of what we want to do in life, we are often thinking at the level of being operators. But this is just your entry level. If you work so well here, they'll promote you to another level, the level of managers. These ones, you don't always see them coming to do the work. Supervisors, right? They have an office somewhere. Those who are working hard are working outside, and then somebody comes and just looks around at what they are doing. That person that's looking around at what they are doing, he was once doing it. And whether he likes it or not, if he does not do it here with all his heart, he won't qualify to go here. He'll be making mistakes and be saying, I don't like this job, I don't like this job. So he will stay on that place. In fact, if you don't like a job, your protest should come out in doing it excellently. Write that down. If you don't like any job, protest by doing it excellently. Why? Because if you do it so well, they will promote you out of it. Joseph came in as a slave, right? He came in as a slave. Who likes to be a slave? Nobody. He came in as a property. He was not given any position on any platform, but he worked so hard, until his master saw that God has blessed him because of Joseph. What did he do next? He promoted him and handed over everything to Joseph. Why? Because in spite of the fact of what he did not like, he did the job excellently. That's how to work. Not to complain and to murmur every single thing. You murmur and complain every single thing. By the way, remember that your working is to serve God. Very important, because work, I'll mention to you now, is actually worship. If you work so hard here and you pass, you go to a level of those who are directors. These ones, you don't see them at all. You see directors? You don't see them. Owners of these banks, have you seen them? You don't see them. So, how do you climb? You climb by commitment. You climb by work. You climb by dedication. Walk is key. Walk. The other thing about work is this. The difference between the work of one person and the work of another person is the quantity of knowledge inside it. When they say that someone is a professional, they are saying that there's too much knowledge in the work he's doing. That's the difference. That the knowledge quotient in the work is high. When someone is a manual worker, they are saying that the physical effort in the work is too much. Do you understand? So what do you need to do to advance in life? Because work is constant. You now need to make sure that you infuse knowledge into your work. You have to constantly, continuously learn. If you are in a work that does not allow you to learn, after a while you'll be stagnated. You will be. And by the way, there is no work where you can't learn. There's no work where you can't learn. After a while, this knowledge begins to be the thing that advances you. See, in making boxers, there are all kinds of levels of boxers makers, right? I will suggest to you that our president wears boxers. And he's someone that makes it. But the person that will make boxers for the president has to have a level of knowledge. What he will bring into his game will be a high level of knowledge. Not just the manual work that he's doing. A carpenter. No. You know that the president sits on chairs. Someone makes it. That person that can go to that extent to make that kind of chair, what he brings to his work is plenty knowledge. Not just hammer and nail. Communication, relationship. He knows how to manage several factors. He has to have knowledge. So it's not enough to just say, okay, let me just do this job. No. I have to put knowledge inside it. I have to put knowledge inside it. So learn. If you don't have knowledge, if your knowledge is not growing, you'll be frustrated. The hardest workers are those who work with their brain. Those who work with their hands are not working very hard. Like I mentioned the other time, if you go to a company, you will see those who work. Okay, let me ask you again. I hope you will answer correctly. Between the owner of the company and those who work in the company, who works the hardest? Is it the owner or the workers? Is it the owner or the workers? You see? So, some of us actually think that it's the workers who work the hardest. And that's very sad. And that's why people like that, people can do union, what do they call them? Trade union. They do workers union. I say, we are in this company, and this is not paying us very well. Are you going to allow it? No. What are you going to do? Write placards. And carry, because he has to pay us. Are we fools? We will labor for him. He has gone to vacation in Ireland, and we are here working for him. All kinds of noise. That is ingratitude. Because someone built a company for you to come and work in the company. If you think you know how to do it, go across and start one company yourself and employ others and pay them well. But they can't do it. So they think that because you are making efforts, you should ask yourself, in any job you do, how dispensable am I? If I don't come to work, will my boss look for me? Or will my boss find somebody else? You can try on Monday or Tuesday. Don't go. If you don't go, there are people that if they don't go to work, they serve them query. Others, if they don't go to work, they come and beg them. Please come. We need you. So you need to find out what's my level? What's my level? What's my place? Do I work with my brain or do I work with my hands? Very important. Again, with the bank, the higher you go here, the more they pay you. You see, this person, what they pay this person can pay 1,000 of these people. 1,000. They pay you, boom. These ones. 1,000 once. Some they pay more. Why? Because what happens as you go up here is that the knowledge required is high. So you need to invest in growing in your knowledge. Work is key and work is king. Work is key and work is king. And the element that makes work meaningful is your knowledge. All right. Work. Watch this now. Work and worship are inseparable. Work and worship are inseparable. We know that worship is the whole duty of man, right? Is that correct? Worship is the whole duty of man. How many of you know that? We are on earth to worship God. Okay. So we go back to Adam, the first man God created, who was here to worship God. Okay? The question is, how was Adam to worship God? Was Adam to go to church and sing? Was Adam to go for night vigil? Was Adam to do singing? Was he to say, I want to give God 1 hour of uninterrupted singing and worship? No. God did not ask him to do any of that. What God required of Adam was to see this garden here, walk it, keep it. It is in doing that work that he expresses worship to God. So, but we have become religious and become church people. So if we want now, we can declare, like December is coming now, we are going to be declaring of 7 days of straight worship. So worship God. There are also all those that call 24 hours worship. I don't know if you have seen this one. Somebody must be singing to God throughout all the hours of the day. That's not worship anything. You worship God through work. Work and worship are inseparable. If you separate work and worship, worship will die. If you separate work and worship, work will not die. I hope you know. Work will not die. What will die? Worship will die. Nobody travels out of town to go for worship. Those who went to Lagos, they didn't go there to go and be worshiping. Those who go to work looking for visa, there's nobody looking for visa as far as I know, because they want a better place of worship. You know someone like that? So I don't like the church I'm going in Nigeria. I want to go to New York. Say why? Because there's a church there. I want to go. No one goes anywhere to worship. We always go everywhere we go carrying our work. Is work. So worship has to be connected with that work, so that you worship as you walk. Very important. You worship as you walk. Your walk is the expression of your worship. You know, they used to sing a song that says, Sunday. I know you don't know this song. No. You cannot. How many of you know the song I'm saying? Ayo. You don't know it. I will sing the song to you. Jesus, we don't know. So I'm that ancient. Kai, I didn't know. Sunday. So at that time, Sunday is Some people quiet that Saturday is a rest day. But in our time, it was Sunday. And it's a shame to work on Sunday. Then they say the next line. Chukwu nyere ya Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Otukwasiri ya Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Obi here madu loro na Sunday. Obi. Okay, so Sunday is for worship, and then every day is for work. Now, the challenge you have is if you believe that, you don't know whether you should work on Sunday or not, right? People have all kinds of issues. Should I work or should I? In fact, in those days, if you see somebody who has a shop that's open on Sunday, he is a sinner. He doesn't respect God. But in the night, you go there and buy malt. And join in his sin. And you see, what we don't know is that if you start flying, if you fly a plane, if you go up in the sky, you can cross from one time zone to another time zone. While here we are on Saturday, some are still on Friday, some are on Sunday. So I can be calling you on the phone from Friday while you are on another day. So when people get to that environment, they don't know how to worship now because, like if you go to, we don't even know that if you go to Arab countries, you go to Muslim countries, that Sunday is not public holiday. Sunday is work day. Holiday is Friday, weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then you go to church on Friday. So if you don't want to go, you're on your own. So if you don't know how to carry your worship at the back of your work, when Sunday is removed, you backslide. There are countries where you cannot go to church. If you cannot go to church, you backslide. Because you are thinking that the way to worship God is to gather on Sunday and they play music as if Jesus was using keyboard, and Peter was playing the drums, and then Mary Magdalene was the one that was leading the choir. Even this small Lagos here, because people are working so hard, there's no time. Somebody you may have to go to work on Sunday. And you can't go to workshop, you can't go to a midweek service, you don't know how to carry your work. Carry the presence of God as a part of your life. Because your expression of worship is in the work you do. Are you doing this work to the glory of God? Yes. Create around yourself an atmosphere of God's presence in what you are doing. But when we work, we quarrel there, we fight there, right? We fight, we curse there. Even in this market here, then in the evening you come to church and say, Father, please, today, everything I said in the market, forgive me. You have to do your church there. And when there's no time to come to church and ask forgiveness, you now carry your sin and be going from week to week and week to week. So you can't separate work and worship. If you do that, what will die will be worship. Yes. The Bible says that whatever we do, we should do it as unto the Lord. Everything you do it worshipfully. Write that down. Everything you do it worshipfully. Don't do you can't do worshipfully. Everything. Because everything is worship. Your work is worship. Very important. Work is how you fulfill the assignment God gave you on earth. Work is how you fulfill the assignment God gave you on earth. What's the assignment? Have dominion. Have dominion. And work is how you create the wealth that empowers you to have dominion. And by the way, you need to always remember that we are asked to have dominion over the physical world. Remember that, right? We are not asked to have dominion over spiritual world. But we like to have dominion over spiritual world, right? We have to dominate the spiritual realm. Dominate where demons live. Dominate where all powers of darkness, I bind you. We keep binding spiritual things and never bind physical things. is just an escape for church. There's no reality inside that. The demons came after me and I boxed them. Don't box demons, box human beings. Deal with physical things that we can see. That's the assignment. God said, have dominion over what? Fish.